The ancients. We have a fascination with them. What are their stories? How did they live? In what did they believe? How did they fight their wars? The Old Testament is a rich treasure trove of stories about God's people, how they lived and tried to follow God, and what we can learn from them and apply to our lives. In the Old Testament, there's a wonderful book called Jeremiah. It was written by the prophet Jeremiah during a time of international war. The superpowers of Babylon and Egypt clashed while small nations like Israel were caught in the middle. Throughout history, when superpowers have competed both culturally and militarily, one has risen to dominate its rivals. How might the history, geography, and moral issues that Old Testament characters like Jeremiah, Daniel, and Ezekiel faced be applied to understand our modern world? In The Brotherhood of the Scroll, your students will learn about the exile of Judah to Babylon. They will discover in the course, Clash of the Superpowers, how Daniel and his fellow exiles faced a clash of worldviews as strangers in a strange land. Through this comparative history course, your students will also learn how we can compare and contrast the events of our day to the stories that are told in the Bible, and why such character virtues as love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness are as necessary today as they were when Daniel and Ezekiel were exiled to Babylon as teenagers, facing a clash of worldviews as strangers in a strange land. Clash of the Superpowers, a comparative history curriculum that applies God's ancient wisdom to a modern age.